Welcome to another episode of The Other Side. I'm your host, Wesley.
I'm Will.
Yep, he's got it. With the upcoming Batman vs. Superman movie, we will see Ben Affleck step into the shoes as the Caped Crusader. He will be the 8th person to play this role. Batman is entering James Bond territory. And today, we wanted to go through the history of Batman on the screen. Big screen, small screen, doesn't matter. This is the history of Batman.
Believe it or not, Batman started in film in 1943. They were 15-chapter film series, so if you went to see a movie, you'd see a little bit of clips of Batman beforehand, or sometimes they'd play by themselves. Lewis Wilson was our first Batman. And then 1949, we got to see Batman and Robin in little serials. We also had Jane Addams playing Vicky Vale. And then you wouldn't see anything again until 1966. And in 1966, we got to see the great Adam West and Burt Ward playing Batman and Robin.
Bat Tootsie.
This movie, to me, even though they're corny and cheesy, but it came out in 66, they were fun. I thought it was a great movie. I like the Joker, the Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler. All your top bad guys were in it.
And he had shark repellent. I mean, how pimp is that?
I mean, he saved everybody running around with the bomb, but you got to see the Batmobile, you got to see the Bat Chopper, you got to see the Bat Boat. I mean, they threw everything.
Oh yeah, and then in the television
show, this is before the toys and action figures were being made around shows.
And even the television show, every once in a while, you'd get a cameo from Batgirl, and I always remember watching, the episode of the show when it would come on. You always knew when Batgirl was going to be in it because she would swing out during the title screen, and that was fun to see, to know that she was going to be in it. It was a fun show.
But after a while, the popularity kind of waned, TV changes as it does, and then, Batman was taken off of TV, and we didn't see anything.
No.
Comic books were struggling until someone decided to revamp Batman and make him a little grittier.
Yes. Frank Miller did that in many, many ways with his Batman Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One, making it grittier, kind of getting Batman back to his roots, because Batman was gritty before they turned him campy. It was a very serious detective novel type thing, had a darker tone. They lightened him up to make him more kid-friendly. Frank Miller took him back and made him dark again. And then we got the buzz in 1983. They were going to make a Batman movie with William Holden. Was considered for Batman before he unfortunately passed away. And then Ivan Reitman was attached with a script by, I cannot pronounce that name.
I won't even try.
Okay,
Mankiewicz. He wanted to cast Bill Murray as Batman.
Yes, and even there was talk about Michael J. Fox as Robin, or even Marlon Wayans as Robin, which I thought was kind of funny, but, interesting, but in the end, that movie didn't happen, and instead they
were in that. The scripts and the work was just in limbo forever until Tim Burton came on the scene, and that's where we get Batman 1989, and he cast Michael Keaton as Batman. And I remember a lot of people.
It was really the first nerd buzz around someone getting cast in a movie. If you think about it,
it was one of the early ones.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton at that time had done movies like Gung Ho, Mr. Mom, Night Shift. Obviously, he'd become really huge with Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And he was just seen as the funny guy.
Yeah, a comedic actor.
And now he's going to play Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But overshadowing that was the fact that they cast Jack Nicholson as a Joker. And
it was huge.
He was huge. He also had the hugest he made bank on this movie. He also got portions of the box office gross.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many actors. I don't know how many actors have pulled that off.
I don't think very many. And considering this movie made $400 million, oh yeah, that's got to be one of his favorite movies of all time.
But Michael Keaton delivered. I think
he did. I thought Michael Keaton was great as Batman. I really did. I enjoyed.
You're gonna tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
And then, of course, we had Batman Returns in 1992.
Now, Tim Burton didn't want to direct this one. He's not big on... At the time, he was not big on doing sequels.
Yeah.
Until...
He still really isn't.
Daniel Walter's script, and they wanted to introduce the Penguin, and Tim Burton liked where they were going with the character of the Penguin, and so he signed on to do it. And Michael Keaton came back to be Batman. Danny DeVito
who delivers a great performance as the Penguin. I think that's a great example of pitch perfect casting. I like his
Well,
Penguin.
what's funny is, here's another funny guy, Danny DeVito, from what was it, Twins and Taxi, and he's a funny guy, and here he was playing this dark,
Very
twisted,
dark.
I'm gonna kidnap your children
And drown them.
Penguin, yeah, and then of course the beautiful Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Didn't make as much money as 1989. There were some people that parents out there who weren't happy with how dark the film was, the sexual overtones between Catwoman and Batman.
So, seeing this backlash, they kiddied up Batman again with Batman Forever, 1995.
And Tim Burton didn't want to come back to direct this one, and with Tim Burton leaving, so did Michael Keaton.
Yep, turned
which
down
bummed me out.
$15 million. That's definitely some artistic integrity Michael Keaton exercised right there. So instead, we got Val Kilmer as Batman, we got Chris O'Donnell as Robin, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. And not a horrible movie. Some people paint it as horrible. I don't think it's terrible. I've seen worse. Ghost Rider 2. But it's certainly not of that caliber. It's definitely friendlier for kids to watch.
Nicole Kidman was hot.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of Val Kilmer at the time. I thought he did a great job as Batman. There was just lots of talk about him being a pain in the ass on the set.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to see Two-Face and the Riddler on screen together when they're all huddled together like they're buddy-buddy, because I had read that Tommy Lee Jones basically insulted Jim Carrey and his kookiness and didn't appreciate his acting style.
I could see that.
But it made a lot more than Batman Returns. It made around, I think, $350 million. So the Batman franchise just keeps...
Yep, and had a song that was on the radio all summer and would get stuck in your head. And if you saw the movie, you know which one I'm talking about, by Seal.
Yeah. Kiss from a Rose.
Played it everywhere.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Kiss from a Rose. But we forgot about 1989. Batman had two soundtracks. Had your
from
musical
Prince.
score and then Prince. And I had read that Prince was obviously supposed to do the hardcore, guitar riff like songs, and Michael Jackson was supposed to do the romantic songs or the slower songs. And Michael Jackson was on tour, so Prince ended up doing it. And one of my favorite songs was Bat Dance.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Moving on.
up to Batman and Robin. Yes, Batman.
Dun dun dun. We all know it's one of the worst superhero movies ever made. It's for the most part, better or worse, it's a pile of crap. You got George Clooney as Batman, which isn't bad. I got no problem with George Clooney. You got Chris O'Donnell returning as Robin, which would have been okay if they would have written Robin a little better, but he comes across a bit like a bitch. You got Alicia Silverstone as Batgirl, who is Alfred's niece, who doesn't have an English accent. Look, I don't understand any of that.
She was okay and Clueless. But Batgirl...
Then you had the Governator as Mr. Freeze, which
this was
okay. He was the highlight of the movie.
Yes,
because it's a goofy, campy movie anyway.
This was the saving grace. And
Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy was an identical backstory to Catwoman.
Love Uma Thurman.
And
Poison Ivy was boring.
Who the hell is Bane? He'll get it in editing. His name will be there. I pity you if
it didn't even matter because Bane shouldn't even have been in the movie.
No, he makes no damn sense in that movie.
So
not at all.
The movie,
it's just bad.
Yeah, it didn't even.
The Bat credit card.
It didn't. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it didn't even make as much as the
Bat skates in their boots.
The Batman Returns. Mr. Freeze was the best. The rest of it was just shit. So,
yeah,
anyways, with that, the franchise
died again.
Went down. It kind of went downhill. Enter Batman Begins.
Yes.
Christopher Nolan. Take it away.
Joss Whedon had proposed an origin story in 2002, but of course that didn't happen. So then in 2005, Christopher Nolan steps up. and releases Batman Begins. A lot of people didn't know who Christopher Nolan was. I knew him from the movie Memento. So going into this movie, I had an idea of the director I was dealing with, and boy, did they deliver. Just a tour de force, giving us something we'd never seen, the origin of Bruce Wayne turning into Batman, and casting it perfectly. With Christian Bale as Batman, love him or hate him for his Batman voice. Doesn't matter, he was good casting.
Yeah,
Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, and Liam Neeson's just gold in anything. Cillian Murphy as the Scarecrow. Even Katie Holmes, you know, as the love interest. He'll get her name, what it was there. Even she was good in Batman Begins.
She was really good.
Yeah, Michael Caine, excellent as Alfred. It was a great movie. It was a great way to reintroduce Batman into film, giving us a serious, more realistic take on the character.
Okay, so anyways, this movie made bank.
Oh, yeah.
And we moved, of course, at the very end of the movie,
he gets the playing card.
The playing card, and it's the Joker, and we're all excited, but yet, I was thinking, Jack Nicholson was such a good Joker, who are they going to cast?
Yep.
And then I read Heath Ledger, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Because all I could think of was, like, 10 Things I Hate About
10 Things I Hate About You, A Knight's Tale.
And I'm like, yeah,
and of course, the polarizing Brokeback Mountain.
He's an okay, he was a good actor, but I was just like,
he's a good actor, but
I didn't see the Joker anywhere.
No.
And that's why, like, lots of times, like when Ben Affleck got cast, I was like, okay, maybe.
In many
I can't
ways,
say anything.
Exactly. In many ways, Heath Ledger broke that. At least for me. I know people are still gonna bitch. But
Michael Keaton did too, to his credit. But what Heath Ledger did was such a. It was such a departure from what I had seen him before.
Exactly.
When I first saw the trailer, I remember calling you and I'm like, I can't wait for this movie.
Yeah.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
It was
that trailer was so intense.
It was also a departure from the villains we had seen in comic book movies up until this point. We had seen villains who were threatening or menacing, but all of them in every superhero movie I can think of up to this point had a campy or humorous tone to them. Or even the Green Goblin, Spider-Man.
Scarecrow was
Scarecrow was, that was also another Batman movie.
Yeah, he wasn't
that was
very
in the Nolan
intense,
verse, where Joker was a villain that was actually genuinely terrifying. The first time I saw that movie in the theaters, when he attacks that guard, and on the guerrilla style filming, and the actual murder takes place off screen, you can just hear the screaming. You could hear a fucking pin drop in that theater.
Now, Christopher Nolan, the way his directing style, which I can't say enough good things about him. When Heath Ledger came back from his sabbatical in a hotel room, keeping a diary and fleshing out his Joker character, Christopher Nolan was so impressed with what he saw that those little film clips with him threatening people and, that was basically a cameraman, the other actor, and Heath Ledger by himself. Christopher Nolan wasn't there. He just let him do his own thing. And, of course, that movie was in the billions.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, it's the 16th highest grossing movie of all time.
Oh, and how are you going to top The Dark Knight? You are not going to top the only comic book movie to produce an Academy Award.
Amen.
You're just not going to do it. There's such a thing as lightning in a bottle. They caught it. Dark Knight Rises gives us, once again, Christian Bale as Batman, faced against Tom Hardy as Bane, and also bringing in Anne Hathaway to bring Catwoman back to the big screen.
Another one that surprised me.
Yes, she was excellent as Catwoman, and I thought Tom Hardy was good as Bane.
I just couldn't hear a fucking thing you're saying. I will get you, Batman.
Yeah, the voice thing, a little odd, but he was a good character. I was excited, and I know you can't take credit for things after the fact, but I did call Bane as the villain in this movie because I said we saw Batman's mind threatened in the second movie. The only enemy that made sense to me was a physical challenge, and Bane proves you that, giving us one of the most iconic comic book scenes brought to life, the breaking of Batman's back, and I love that they included that. It was great.
My fuzzy part, or the part I didn't like was their second fight to me was very anticlimactic.
Yes, it should have been way more brutal after that sewer fight. I was expecting much more, especially at the time you're thinking this is the last Batman film we're
Yeah.
going to see for a while.
It's still a great movie.
It's a
I
great
just
movie.
felt
Don't know
that
how
was
he
the only
survived
thing
the
lacking.
atomic bomb. And I really didn't need the Joseph Gordon-Levitt Robin thing, since they obviously don't seem like they planned on doing anything with that.
Well-
and now moving on, we have coming Batman versus Superman 2016, bringing in Ben Affleck in what I think.
Is it this February or March?
Um,
That's how fast it's coming. It's
yeah,
coming
it's
up
coming
really
up fast.
The trailer
I
looks great.
originally was very opposed to the very idea of this movie, but
the
as so
the
often
Joker-
happens,
The Joker was on our show, and he talked a lot of crap, and
Yeah.
I think he's going to have to eat some crow. Yeah, Affleck being cast. The other thing I was concerned with.
thought it was
or-
going to be a one and done.
Yeah, because, he's a director, he's, a big name actor, so he's going to be Batman versus Superman, and then he's going to go on, and they're going to have to recast another Batman. That's not the case. Not only is he doing Batman, Superman, he's going to be in Suicide Squad, he's in
Justice League.
He's in Justice League, and then it looks like Ben Affleck's going to direct a solo Batman movie, and then return in Justice League 2019. Good God. Way to go, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
That's it for our history of Batman in film. Hope you enjoyed it. This is The Other Side, and we're out.